right. So the first type of cash buyer that we're all very familiar with is going to be our fix and flip. The fix and flipper. Okay. The fix and flipper cash buyer, typically when it comes to a percentage of ARV, they're trying to buy around 70% and below. So the 70% and below the ARV. So those are the ones that buy with cash, they buy with hard money. They're able to close quickly, but they need to get a pretty good discount because they're going to be putting money into the property. They're paying for financing. They typically are doing a rehab on the property. It takes them about 3 to 6 months from beginning to end at least. So they have to buy out of that discount because number one, they want to get a return. They want to make a profit. Number two, there's the what if factor. What if something else goes wrong? What if there's something else that wasn't disclosed? What if there's plumbing issues? What if there's electrical issues? That type of stuff. So, and then they just have other overhead too, like the cost of the repairs, the cost of the money that they're getting private money or hard money on. So they're typically buying at a pretty steep discount. Okay. So that's the fix and flippers. The next one will be the landlords. Okay. Landlords are the ones that have rental properties. They can usually pay a little bit higher. They're usually able to pay like 80%, maybe even I'm gonna even push it up to 90% in some markets and below. But they usually, when it comes to the rehab, they're not going to spend as much money on the rehab. They're typically going to just make it rent ready. Right? They're going to put in new carpet, new paint, throw a for rent sign out front, and find a renter. So that's why they're able to pay a little bit more than a typical fix and flipper. So and this may vary. Maybe I'll put like 80 to 90% typically. Now, the other one that we have here is hedge funds. Hedge funds are a very interesting animal because depending on the market you're in, depending on their buy box, some of them are buying around 95% and below. I've heard of some paying over retail in some markets, but a lot of times they're buying a little bit more because the hedge funds you got your iBuyers like Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow. Those were more of the fix and flippers. The iBuyers are more the fix and flippers, but the hedge funds, they're typically buying for buy and hold. They're typically going to become landlords. They have Wall Street money. They're paying a little bit more. And so they're a really good resource if they're buying in your market. Now, what's interesting is I was just talking to I've been traveling around this week in Phoenix and hitting up a couple different of the top wholesalers in their offices and stuff. And several hedge funds have stopped buying. They've paused for like 90 days, or they may not be buying altogether. Some are laying off sales staff. Tiber Capital, which is big out in Atlanta and Florida, it's a big hedge fund out there. They actually walked away from multiple deals, losing $5,000 earnest deposits on multiple deals because they decided they're not going to buy that property. And why do you think that's happening right now? What's going on with the economy?
Recession.
What's happening with that? What do you think's happening there?
Inflation is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Interest rate. So the Federal Reserve is set to announce another rate hike next week. They're talking 100 basis points. What does that mean for us?
Crashing housing market is looming over our heads.
Yeah. So typically the mortgage rates kind of keep up with the Federal Reserve rate. So if Federal Reserve rates, that mortgage rates go up a lot of times too. Same thing if they go down, the mortgage interest rates go down. So we had a year ago, interest rates were at what percent for houses? Does anyone know?
2 to 3.
Yes, yeah, they're under 3%. That's crazy. I think that's the first in my lifetime. Now, what's interesting is now mortgage rates, they come down a little bit, but they hit 6%. So they basically doubled in a year. And they're talking about interest rates going even higher. So the interest rates can go over 7%. Some economists are talking double-digit interest rates for housing. What does that do? What does that do for affordability?
Down the tubes.
Yeah, it makes it harder, right? Makes it harder. So what happens in some of these markets right now, you're already seeing some of the results of this. A lot of fix and flippers have basically paused their buying. In fact, I know I'm in an office with a bunch of other flippers, and a lot of them are just trying to sell the houses they have. They're dropping their prices. A lot of price cuts are going on right now because there's several people that got, they listed on the MLS, they got approved for a loan, but now the interest rates have gone up, so now they can't afford that house. And that's happened with a lot of new construction too. A lot of people are canceling contracts on new construction. So you'll start to see the fix and flippers start shrinking in some of these markets. Same thing with some landlords, right? They're going to be a little more cautious. Hedge funds are already doing that too, right? Especially if they're buying at 95%. Now, the next one I'm going to share with you, the next buyer I'm going to share with you is a buyer that buys in a down market, like we're going into right now. That's a down market. Buyer that buys in an up market, a buyer that buys in a flat market. They basically have to be able to buy at any market. What do you think those type of buyers are?
Wholesalers.
Close to, so that is gonna be one, but it's gonna be number 5. So this one's gonna be realtors. Realtors have clients that buy at 100% of retail, right? Because they have their retail clients. Do realtors have clients that are fix and flippers as well?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Sure do. Yeah. What about, do realtors have clients that are landlords?
Yeah, they got all the clients, all types.
Yep, and hedge fund. So realtors control about 95% of the transactions in most markets. So you want realtors on your list as well. Okay. Now, Leroy already kind of let the cat out of the bag. So my 5th one, my bonus one, is other wholesalers. So we want other wholesalers, right? Part of the reason why we want other wholesalers on our buyers list is because a lot of them already have a buyers list. Imagine getting connected with a wholesaler that's been around for 5 years, 7 years, that's acquired, that has a humongous buyers list. Would that be a good resource for you to have?
Yep.
Of course, right? Now, one of the other reasons why I like wholesalers, let me see if I can have this. So wholesalers, I'm going to put here, they have OPB, other people's buyers. But they also have OPP. Have you guys ever, who remember this song?
Yeah, we remember it.
Yeah. So that's OPP by Naughty by Nature. What's OPP stand for?
Like it.
It's other people, other people's property. So, other people's property. So, what's nice about having wholesalers on your buyers list? Hey, guess what? They already have deals that they're trying to sell too. So that's a great resource because now you can use them to help find deals and find buyers for your property. So the 5 buyers we want: fix and flippers, landlords, hedge funds, realtors, and wholesalers, right? Some other resources. So now let me just pop in here real quick. We talked about these different resources. We talked about wholesalers too. And we talked about last week how to build that wholesaler list. Some other bonus. Hold on a second here. Some bonus buyers. Bonus buyers, or people that can help you get buyers, would be property management companies, title companies, do they do any transactions with fix and flippers and landlords or hedge funds, do you think? You bet they do. Hard money lenders is another great resource. The local RIA. So a RIA is a real estate investor association. So a lot of times they have members there. A lot of times you can even join those real estate investor associations, and they can send those deals out to your buyers list as well. I'm going to go with another social media company that people don't know about is meetup.com. You can go to meetup.com and you can find local meetups going on where there's other investors. And a lot of times they have a list of investors, and you can get permission from the admin to send an email out to that list, to send your deal out to that list. So that's a good resource. Facebook groups. So you want to focus on real estate investment groups, landlord groups, flipper groups, and also real estate agent groups and wholesaler groups. These are all great resources. I'm going to give you another bonus one, LinkedIn. Is anyone familiar with how this works? There's a lot, but there's some great ways to network with people in here, right? So let's see. You can post stuff in here just like you do on Facebook. But what I'm going to do is, like, let's say I'm going to Chatta, two T's, right? Chattanooga, property buying at Flip County. Let's see what we got here. I can do real estate. Let me do a realtor. I can find realtors here. I could find landlord. There's a bunch right here. Look at that. Bunches and bunches and bunches. So these are all, investor is a great one. I forgot to even just type in investor. There you go. So now I can start connecting to all these folks. Look at that. That was a good one. Real estate investor. And how many pages do we have? Tons and tons. Like tons and like 106 results right there.